Meow, my friends. The diplomatic world has finally remembered how to use a telephone. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Russian President Vladimir Putin have engaged in their first tête-à-tête in 2 years. And let me tell you, it's about as awkward as a cat in a bathtub. On November 15th, 2024, Scholz rang up Putin for a cosy hour-long chat, breaking their 2-year silent treatment. It's like they suddenly realised they had each other on mute this whole time. The last time these two political powerhouses spoke was back in December 2022, when the world was a slightly different dumpster fire. Now, they're picking up where they left off, as if the intervening years were just a long commercial break in the soap opera of international relations. Scholz, playing the role of the stern but hopeful diplomat, urged Putin to withdraw his troops from Ukraine, because nothing says pretty please like asking someone to undo a massive military invasion they've been working on for years. He also suggested having a nice cup of tea with Kiev to discuss a just and lasting peace. I'm sure Putin was thrilled. Who doesn't love being told to pack up their tanks and go home over a phone call? But wait, there's more. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy, ever the optimist, likened Scholz's call to opening Pandora's box. Because why settle for one mythological disaster when you can have two? Zelenskyy warned that such dialogues could lead to unproductive negotiations that only serve to bolster Putin's regime. It's like trying to reason with a bear while it's eating your picnic basket. Not exactly a recipe for success. Zelenskyy's concerns aren't just pulled out of thin air like a magician's rabbit. He's worried these talks might turn into another Minsk III situation. For those of you who've been living under a rock, or perhaps just trying to avoid the constant barrage of depressing news, the Minsk agreements were previous attempts at peace that worked about as well as using a sieve to bail out the Titanic. They allowed Russia to maintain influence in eastern Ukraine while conveniently forgetting about that whole aggressor label. Zelenskyy's made it crystal clear. There will be no Minsk III. He'd rather wrestle a greased pig than fall for that trap again. Now, let's not forget the elephant in the room, or should I say, the Trump in the White House. With Donald Trump's recent election victory, the geopolitical landscape has shifted faster than a cat chasing a laser pointer. There's speculation that the Trump administration might adopt a different stance towards Russia and Ukraine, potentially altering the West's united front against Russian aggression. It's like changing the rules of the game mid-play, except this game involves nuclear superpowers and the fate of millions of people. No pressure. Trump's America First doctrine could mean a reduced international engagement, possibly pressuring Ukraine into territorial concessions to Russia. European leaders and Ukrainian officials are more nervous than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, fearing this could embolden Russian aggression and destabilize European security. Trump's expressed desire to expedite peace talks has some worrying that Washington's willingness to support Kyiv may drastically diminish. It's like watching a high-stakes poker game where one player suddenly decides they'd rather play Go Fish. But fear not, my friends. Scholz's office has reassured us that Germany remains unwavering in its support for Ukraine. They're committed to backing Ukraine for as long as necessary, which in politician speak could mean anything from next Tuesday to the heat death of the universe. Germany has been one of Ukraine's largest military backers, second only to the United States. They've pledged a whopping $1.4 billion in military assistance, with their total support exceeding $2.95 billion since February 2022. That's a lot of catnip if you ask me. And it's not just about the money. Germany's been sending over some serious hardware. We're talking 30 Leopard 1 A5 tanks, 20,155 mm artillery shells, and 4 Iris-T air defense systems. It's like they're playing a high-stakes game of battleship, except with real ships, and tanks, and artillery. They've even been training Ukrainian soldiers, because nothing says we've got your back, like teaching someone how to drive a tank. But here's where it gets interesting, my friends. Remember when Germany used to cozy up to Russia for its energy needs? Well, those days are long gone, like last year's catnip mouse under the couch. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, energy prices in Germany soared by 35%, and they're still about 12% higher than pre-war levels. The International Monetary Fund even predicted that this energy crisis could shrink Germany's economy by 0.3% next year. Talk about a catastrophe. This energy breakup has been messier than a litter box after an all-you-can-eat buffet. Germany's been scrambling to find new energy sources faster than a cat trying to catch a red dot. They've been building liquefied natural gas terminals, like they're going out of style, trying to wean themselves off Russian gas. It's a bit like trying to quit catnip cold turkey. Painful, but necessary. Now, just when you thought this geopolitical soap opera couldn't get any more complicated, enter North Korea, stage left. Yes, you heard that right, my friends. There are reports that North Korean troops might be joining this messy party. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin noted evidence that about 8,000 North Korean soldiers are preparing to engage in combat along the Ukrainian border. It's like the world's most unwanted guest list just got a new addition. Despite North Korea's public denials, because of course they're denying it, they probably deny the sun rises in the east. Casualties have already been reported among its troops. North Korean officers have apparently met their maker during a missile strike in Donetsk. It's like they've decided to jump into the deep end of the pool without checking if there's water first. Meanwhile, on the technological front, this conflict is starting to look like a sci-fi movie. Ukraine's been using drones, like they're going out of style, targeting Russian infrastructure with the precision of a cat stalking a mouse. They've even got marine drones successfully taking out Russian naval assets. It's like they're playing a real-life video game, except the stakes are a lot higher than losing your high score. And let's not forget about artificial intelligence. Both sides are using AI to enhance their battlefield intelligence and operations. It's like they've got robot brains helping them make decisions faster than a cat can knock a glass off a table. Ukraine's even developed AI systems to automate logistics and enhance military readiness. Who knew war could be so smart? Now I know what you're thinking. Ron, this all sounds like a geopolitical mess. And you'd be right, my friends. It's like someone took a big ball of yarn, let 100 cats play with it, and then tried to untangle it while blindfolded. But don't worry, I'm here to keep you informed about every twist and turn in this international game of Twister. Speaking of games, I've heard people compare international diplomacy to a game called chess. Now, I have no idea what chess is, never heard of it, don't know what a chessboard looks like, couldn't tell a pawn from a prawn. But if it's anything like this situation, it must be the most confusing game ever invented. Maybe it involves moving little figurines around a board while trying not to start World War III. Who knows? What I do know is that this situation is more tangled than a cat's whiskers after a nap. We've got Germany trying to play peacemaker while still sending tanks, Ukraine warning against negotiations while asking for more support, Russia pretending it's not the aggressor, and North Korea popping in like an uninvited guest at a dinner party. And let's not forget Trump, waiting in the wings to potentially flip the whole script. If you're as confused by all this diplomatic dancing as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs, smash that like button faster than Putin can say "niet" to peace talks. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to our channel? We promise to keep bringing you the latest updates on this geopolitical circus, served with a side of satire and a sprinkle of catnip. In the meantime, we'll be here, watching this complicated cat's cradle game unfold. Remember, in this high-stakes international tangle, pulling on any string could unravel the whole thing. Or maybe, just maybe, it could lead to a solution. But don't hold your breath. You might turn blue before these world leaders see reason. We'll keep you informed as the story develops. I'm Ron de Parmesan, reporting for News Cats, where we always land on our feet even when the world is turning upside down.